Right, welcome back. So our summer of sun chasing continues here on Morning Live. This as we spotlight South Africa's most iconic landmarks. So Leanne recently stepped inside the legendary Ponte Tower, which is of course a skyscraper that once defined urban ambition and later the city's deepest struggles. And today it's a story that mirrors the very heart of Johannesburg, a journey through decline towards a fragile yet inspiring rebirth that we are noticing. So here's Leanne with the story of a skyline icon in the city of Joburg.
This morning we're taking Follow the Sun to somewhere completely different, somewhere you perhaps would never think of visiting during your holidays. Maybe you're visiting Joburg, maybe you live in Joburg and you've never been here. Well, it's a building that probably signifies Johannesburg more than any other building does. I'm talking about Ponte. It's nestled in the heart of Berea. It's an area that, you know, has been through really tough times. And in fact, when you drive here, you will go through some very, very difficult areas that are run down. Some of the buildings have been hijacked, but that unfortunately is the reality of life in parts of the area. But there are pockets of excellence. There are places that are really trying to rebuild itself, and Ponte is one of them. It is a story, it is an incredible story that we're about to tell you of Ponte. It's a building that stands out as a beacon of security and perhaps of hope for the area. Let's go inside, let's explore, let's tell you the story. Thank you. So once you step through these gates, you enter into somewhat of a safe haven. And it's really interesting. I must say there's incredibly tight security around this area. So once you're here, let's go and see what this building has to offer. All right, so we've arrived into this giant cylindrical building, which is basically one of the most iconic structures, as I've told you before. So this has been standing in the city of Johannesburg for 50 years. And have you ever been inside? That's a question you need to ask yourself. Well, we're about to take you inside. Leanne is who's going to take us on a tour. We booked with them. You got to know someone who knows someone to get inside there. So we made the connection. Spies was here to meet us. So nice to meet you. We can't wait. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Listen, I know I got to sign in here because while I sign in, that's going to tell me who. Oh, wow. Oh, you must read this register. This is amazing. Russia.
We have guests from everywhere.
Spain.
Russia, Spain, the US,
and the USA.
Germany.
And Germany. And Japan. I can see Japan as well. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to put Leanne from Johannesburg just so that I can rock it up a little bit. There we go. Okay, awesome. Listen, it's very tight security here. It's a residential complex, so people are living here and businesses. We'll tell you all about that shortly, but Swisa's going to get us in.
Please push the first gate.
Okay. All right, so we've come in, and these are the lifts that we're about to get in. So I believe in days gone by, but we're going to talk about the history of all of this. These lifts didn't work, so whoever stayed here had to walk up, how many flights? 54?
54 floors.
So there are 54 floors. How many apartments are in here?
486 apartments in here.
Okay, let's go. All right, Spies, I'm in your hands. I trust you. This better get me.
All the way up.
Oh, we go all the way up. We're going all the way up. We'll see you at the top. Bye. Okay, we made it, Spies, we made it.
Yes, have to look at the first floor.
I have to unblock my ears. That was insane. So this is where we're going.
This is the first floor.
There's the door. So a building that has got such a vast history. How would you feel, not as a resident, but spending it here as a holiday maker, as coming here and renting out a penthouse on the 52nd and 51st floor of Ponte? Well, you can. On Airbnb, you can rent out this apartment. I haven't seen it. It's the first time I'm going inside. So here it is, number 5204. It's a double story, but I think we're just seeing the top part. So I'm going to see what it's like to spend the night at Ponte. No ways! This is actually so cool. No ways. Oh, wow. Okay. This is not what I was expecting. So this is what you get, a penthouse. And you're looking over the city that I've called home my whole life. I didn't know this. Okay, I'm gonna take a seat here. This is amazing. I could do this. This is actually so cool. Can't believe it. I mean, you're sitting probably in the highest residential property in Africa, I think. I think it is Africa. Yeah, it's Africa. I've got that right. And I have no idea that this existed. This is amazing. Absolutely stunning. Wow. All right, so we're getting into where...
This is 5101, and then this is where we're coming to 5101.
Okay.
It's the first apartment at the 51st floor.
Awesome, let's go inside. So, Sfiso, tell us about this building. I want to know from the beginning, 1975, when this all started.
So the building opened all the way back in 1975. You know, it was built to house the most richest people around the neighborhood. You know, if you lived there at that time, you were regarded to be the richest person around Berea, Hillbrow, Uval. This was the only place where people of color could mix under the apartheid regime. You know, these are the places where people will escape home to have freedom into. You know, for example, Hillbrow, Berea, and Uval were the first gay and lesbian friendly places.
And then things started to change, and then obviously we saw big businesses moving out of the city centre. What started happening to this building? What was the story there?
So things started turning worse in the early 90s. You know, with the black community coming over, building getting hijacked because the owners or people running the building started leaving the inner city of Johannesburg after the redlining of the neighborhoods. You know, and also Ponte fell into a deep hole. You know, it was filled with gangsters. There was crime, garbage being thrown in the middle of the building.
In terms of the cleanup, I mean, how long did it actually take to clean this building up?
It was crazy. From 2006, that's when the cleanup started happening. The garbage in the middle on its own took 2.5 years to clean it up, you know. And you can also imagine these were old apartments, you know, the carpets on the wall. You remember those designed back in the days?
Yeah.
They'll have the carpets and everything, all those old doors. But luckily, there was already what we call the Ponte style. They didn't have to bring wheelbarrows here. They were just throwing it in the middle, people catching it down.
If I'm not mistaken, I even remember at one stage they were actually going to turn this into a prison and literally lock the doors. I mean, that was crazy, but it was true, right?
There were the strong rumors that the building was going to be turned into a prison, you know, with all the criminals and gangsters calling Ponte home. It was just easy for all of them to be locked up. There's only one entrance and one exit in the building. We get visitors from everywhere. You saw from the signing book there, from Japan, from England, from Germany, people coming over here. I think as Lalanje, the biggest exposure was during 2010. Unfortunately, it was the passing of Nelson Mandela, but there was all this coverage, international coverage that were there to see if he recovers or he actually passes away. And then they were bored, didn't have things to do. We ended up getting written about in New York Times when our local people didn't know. And luckily after COVID, you know, COVID kept people stuck at home and they were looking for things to do. Now in a group of 20, you'll find out we have like 10, 11 South Africans. We have actually hit that turning point. South Africans now are knowing about us.
Okay, Sfiso, you talk about the architecture. I want to go and have a look and see what this is all about. Will you take me to the core? Take me to the center of this masterpiece of architecture. As you promised, you brought me down to the beast, the belly of the beast, if I can call it that. So, I mean, this is amazing. It's absolutely incredible down here. Was it always like this? I wonder, do you know the idea behind having it almost kind of unfinished right at the bottom?
Yes, so the building was built on top of a natural rock. So you know in Johannesburg we have a lot of these koppies, these rock mountains. So the building was built on top of it. Some people say it's biblical. Whoever builds his house on a rock, it's gonna stay for a very long time, you know. So this is actually a natural rock. And then you'll notice that some of the floors from the beginning, it's not a complete floor. So it just goes, and then up until the 4th floor, then it starts making a whole circle of the building.
When you stand here in the heart of Ponte, you realize that this is not just about the concrete and the building and the steel. It's actually a mirror of Johannesburg in a way, and I can't help but think about it. It's a piece and a place that has been pushed to the edge. It's somewhere that's been incredibly misunderstood. Sometimes it's even been written off, but it still stands proud. And if you look after it, it's amazing what you can achieve. This is following the sun into the belly of a city with absolute potential and something so beautiful, it's hard to describe.